This is a King James Moment, brought to you by Lighthouse Baptist Church in Grand Prairie, Texas. In this King James Moment, I want to deal with the subject of anger. Much is said about anger throughout the Bible, and it's being misquoted and mistaught in many of the new versions. In Matthew chapter number 5 and verse number 22, Jesus is speaking. He says, "But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment." Now the new versions, many of them leave out without a cause, and it just says anyone who's angry is in danger of judgment. That does several things. It leaves no room for a righteous anger. By omitting the phrase without a cause, they imply that it's actually a sin to be angry, and we know that's ridiculous and wrong and unscriptural. Proverbs 15:18 and 16:32 say that we're not to become angry too quickly, and then we're taught in Ephesians 4:26 that we're not to stay angry too long. But it doesn't say that there's no place for the right kind of anger. If you look at the Bible, Jesus was angry on several occasions. In Matthew 23, for example, it certainly sounds angry, and the Bible says in Mark, look at Mark 3 and verse number 5. "And when he had looked around about on them with anger, being grieved at the hardness of their hearts, he saith unto the man, Stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched out, and his hand was restored." So Jesus here says when he looked around on them with anger. In John chapter number 2, verses 13 through 17, certainly you can see Jesus in a moment of righteous anger. It says, "And the Jews' Passover was at hand, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem, and found in the temple those that sold oxen and sheep and doves, and the changers of money sitting. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he drave them out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables." Well, that doesn't sound like Jesus was in a very good mood. But his anger was not misplaced. It was a righteous anger. But what the new versions have done over in Matthew 5:22, it does several things. Number one, it makes Jesus look bad. It makes it look like Jesus, when he's angry, is looking on somebody with anger, or he's making an actual scourge to run these guys out of town or run them out of the temple, that he is somehow wrong. It also makes a zealous Christian who gets excited when they preach or and cries out or yells and makes them seem like anger is misplaced. We live in a world that's very evil, and as Christians, we do well to be righteously angry about the fact that Satan gets a victory in so many people's lives. When you counsel with people, when you help people, when you serve people long enough, you do get angry when Satan gets a victory in their life. And but it's not a quick oncoming anger, and it's not an anger that lasts too long. It's a well-placed anger that shows a passion. It also, and because of that, nobody's allowed to show passion. A third thing that it does is it makes preachers weak and powerless. The King James Bible doesn't do that. The King James Bible recognizes that there is a place for righteous anger. There's a good time to be angry. And if you're a preacher, would to God that you would get angry about some things. Would to God that some things would make you mad enough to cry out, as the Bible says. Hey, preacher, get you a real Bible, a King James Bible. Take the muzzle off and cry aloud. And once again, this has been a King James Moment from Lighthouse Baptist Church.